We're going to bounce from you in Paris, 270 or so kilometres up the road to neighbouring Brussels, because France is not the only country with a farmer problem right now. Our neighbouring Belgium has seen motorways blocked in the past 24 hours, banners held up by farmers in the eastern city of Genk, stating our childhood dream has become a nightmare. Let's bring our man in Brussels, Pierre Penazet. Pierre, good to see you, good to talk to you. What's happening in Belgium?
Well, Belgium is not exactly the same size as the protests in France, but obviously the protests in the south of the border from here have triggered the same kind of discontent from the Belgian farmers, and not only in French-speaking Wallonia, but also, as you said, in Flanders. This is a Europe-wide movement that has really taken quite a stride now. We've seen since 2019 protests in the Netherlands, where they were protesting against the plans of the government to cut in half the number of cows in the country. We've seen protests as of the beginning of last year in Germany because of cuts of subsidies for the agricultural diesel. And we now see also protests in Poland, in Romania, in Spain, as recently as this weekend in southern Italy, in Sicily specifically. They all protest against the same thing, the way the common agricultural policy, the PAC as it is, or CAP as it is called, is, as they say, in a way downgrading their living environment, their working conditions. They're not satisfied at all with this very huge tool that Europe has put in place since 1962, and they are very dissatisfied all over the continent, not only on the CAP, the Common Agricultural Policy, but also on imports, relations with the Ukraine. There's quite a lot, wide-ranging sense of discontent within the agricultural sectors throughout Europe.
This is interesting coming through, Pierre. This is the farming minister in France, Marc Fesneau, saying that at the EU summit later this week, President Macron is going to push for more pro-farming policies to address the grievances. Give us a sense of what's on the agenda and how this could affect it.
Well, this is a new plan, a new point on the agenda, obviously, because this summit was supposed to deal only with the main problem that Europe has at the moment, that is Hungary and its blocking of a loan to Ukraine. The agenda on the agricultural points is going to be a new one, and it's going to be quite difficult to have decisions that will effectively have an impact on the agricultural sector throughout Europe. You know that we are now in a period where, after productivism 60 years ago, overproduction 40 years ago, we are now in a greening of the common agricultural policy. Farmers have to leave at least 4% of their land set aside to fallow, and not only in the summer. And this is a reform that has taken about 15 years to put in place. So if the European leaders want to have something, a long-term reform that will have lasting effects, it could be at least 3-4 years in the making. So they need to take immediate measures, and that is going to probably be, very political decisions on the Common European Green Pact, which has impacted quite roughly the agricultural sector in Europe. And in the run-up to the European elections on June 6 to 9, it's probably going to be the main point where the EU leaders want to act in order to have not a new revolt by the agriculturists before the elections in June.